To help support this podcast
and get exclusive bonus content and rewards,
make a monthly pledge at
patreon.com/universebox. And remember to think outside.
Tonight on Universe Box.
You need this all-in-one wine dispenser. Molly Ringwald joins Riverdale. And David Ayers answers the siren song.
This is Universe Box. I'm Bill Meeks.
And I'm DeSimone. This is Universe Box for December 15th, 2016.
Hiya, how are you doing, Anne-Marie?
I'm good. How about you, Bill?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm hanging in there.
Yeah, it's been about a week since we've done the old Universe Box show.
Typically, we go.
Well, it's now a weekly show. It was a twice-a-weekly show.
It was a bi-weekly show. We went to weekly show because it was, let's just be honest, it was just too much and there wasn't that much to talk about.
But now it's a little less, but it's a much better show for it.
It's a much better show for it.
But you know what, Anne-Marie? You know what's really kind of in my craw?
What?
Is that at work, the entire office is sort of infused with this, Christmas is almost here, we're all leaving for vacation, there's work to do, but we really don't care about it.
We will talk about it again in January.
Yeah, it's a very sort of blasé, but stay busy kind of stuff.
Look busy. Here, take this ham.
Which is good because, you know, I have at least I have the podcast stuff to keep me nice and sharp.
You got to keep it sharp.
Which my vision is also now sharp too, because if you didn't notice, I'm not wearing my glasses because I have. I don't know if you can see.
No, don't be Gotham.
I have contact lenses now, and this is my first podcast doing a podcast with contact lenses. So I'm a little nervous. I'm like, is one going to fly out of my eye mid-show? I don't have my glasses nearby.
That's not really how that goes.
Well, yeah, I'm learning. You know, things are slowly bringing themselves to light as far as the contact lenses are. But you know what? I'm seeing clearly. So
I can see clearly.
Can you see clearly?
Now. Yes, I can.
Well, that's good because we're looking into the world of television and serialized streaming storytelling in Televisionary. Okay, so what's first up, Anne-Marie?
First up, Molly Ringwald as Archie's mom on the CW's Riverdale. So this isn't the Archie that you remember. Coming in January, Molly Ringwald will be joining the cast of the CW's Riverdale, a series that will take a gritty look at the taking a gritty YA adaptation of the Archie comics. There we go. That's the right sentence. Ringwald will be portraying Mary Andrews, Archie's mom. Her husband will be played by Luke Perry of 90210 fame.
Ooh,
Luke Perry.
Also of 8 Seconds fame.
8 Seconds?
You remember that movie?
No.
8 Seconds? He was a rodeo rider?
No.
You don't remember that?
No.
Well, you do remember
I was actually
this story
never really a Luke Perry guy.
Oh, you weren't?
Girl.
Or gal? But, you know, you do remember this story, so what'd you think about it?
So I completely forgot about the show until I saw this article come across. I was like, ooh, that's all sorts of fun. And it looks like it's joining the 100 and iZombie as the bigger winter shows, since the entire fall was all superheroes, shiny superheroes all the time.
All in each other's shows, so
everybody's
have to
crossing over, so you have to watch 17 hours of TV a week. Sorry, I know you guys love those. Now, I'm not an expert on the Archie comics by any stretch of the imagination. But I do look forward to seeing Molly Ringwald and Luke Perry on screen together, like as a couple. I also have a weak spot for YA books, TV shows, movies, things that I have aged out of 20 years ago, but I still love them.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned seeing them as a couple, because something that was kind of said in the article made me think they might not be. But yeah, you know.
Oh, did I read that wrong?
As far as Archie, you know, a few years ago I would have completely been completely down on a dark and gritty version of the Archie mythos. But after there was this comic book series that our listener Hope Mullinax turned me on to, Afterlife with Archie, where basically Archie and his friends lived through a zombie apocalypse, and it changed my mind on it quite a bit. I was like, okay, I guess with enough talent and enough care, you can kind of take these characters into other sort of genres.
Right.
All that being said, I still don't really like CW shows that much, so I'll probably watch the first episode.
Right. Like, I'm not saying this is going to be the next greatest thing in the world, but you know what? The 100 and the iZombie are. So Maybe.
But I did think it was interesting. I read this in the article that Molly Ringwald and Luke Perry they're going to be separated, and that Molly Ringwald's character Mrs. Andrews is going to be coming back to town on the eve of all this weirdness that's supposed to be going on to the show. And it also, having them as mom and pops kind of makes me a little sad. Well, for one,
why? Because we're old now.
Yeah, just because they seem too young to be playing the parents of older teenagers.
And they're really not.
Plus, Luke Perry probably doesn't know how to make a really good burger, and Pops ran the diner in Riverdale.
True.
So I wonder if they're going to have that, carryover. Maybe it'll be the same set as Luke's diner from Gilmore Girls.
It could be. It really could be because that's a whole different kind of Luke's diner.
Yeah, but like I said, it appears that the Andrews are separated or divorced or something. But she hasn't been around for a while in any case. So I wonder if her return sort of factors into the weird part of this Archie's Weird Mysteries, reboot. Which, if you've never seen Archie's Weird Mysteries, it's an old, I think it was a ABC Family show.
Something. And so freeform.
Yeah, it was basically X-Files with the Archie characters.
It's really cute. Kid number 3 was kind of addicted to it for about a year. Yeah, I've seen a lot of Archie's Weird Mysteries.
And we didn't mention that we do have a live chat room going on during our recording of the show every 8:30 p.m. Thursday nights at live.universebox.com. And we have a couple people here. We have Angel and Guest 549A2, who I think is a robot.
No, Guest would like to change, doesn't know how to fix their name.
I'm getting there. But let's see. First of all, they wanted to remind us that Luke Perry was in the Buffy movie. And then Angel, regarding my contacts, Angel asked, how do they feel? They feel kind of weird. I'm still getting used to them. It's day 2, full day 2, day 3 of having them, but it's getting easier slightly. And then Guest says, remember to blink so they don't dry out. That will mess them up quicker than anything. Mm-hmm. And Guest also asked how to change their nickname in the chat room. What you do, and I'm going to put it here in the chat room for you. You put a /NICK space, then your new nickname. Just like that.
Guest is Monica.
Oh, okay.
Hi,
Guess it's Monica.
Oh, Mojo makes sense now.
Definitely. But that's how you change your nick, /Nick, and then whatever your new nickname is. Mm-hmm. Little helpful tip.
Helpful tips from
Bill
and
Universe
Anne-Marie.
Box.
Yes.
Okay, so Anne-Marie, what's our next story?
Hip Hop Great Gatsby episode of The Simpsons. Yeah, you heard that right. So with so many years of episodes under their belt, The Simpsons is taking quite a turn with its plotline. An adaptation of The Great Gatsby starring some of music's biggest hip-hop artists. Snoop Dogg, RZA, and Common will be presenting The Great Fatsby.
They'll be spinning rhymes.
Narrated by Homer himself.
Interesting.
Right?
I'm guessing he won't be doing much of the rapping.
I really hope not.
He speaks too slow to be a rapper. My opinion.
Yeah, a little bit.
But what did you think about this, Anne-Marie?
Well, that's something. I never know what to think of these Simpsons episodes because they are just getting wackier and wackier and wackier. And I stopped regularly watching quite a while ago. However, I really do like when Snoop guests on things because I love Snoop.
Snoop.
See, I think it's a sign of our age. Also, is that we're like, nah. I like Snoop. I don't know this RZA.
It's like when our
thing.
parents were like, I really like when Luther Vandross or Barry White guest stars on something.
Yeah, basically.
But it's
I've
Snoop.
now become the old lady, but Snoop. So I might have to watch that one.
Yeah, I do have to wonder, though, if this hip-hop reimagining of an old story wasn't inspired by Hamilton, the musical. Well, it kind of fits the same profile.
Oh, it does.
I also, obviously it's not going to be Lin-Manuel Miranda, but the article doesn't say who composed the beats and rhymes, so I'm a little hesitant to get excited.
You're a Lizzle?
I'm a Lizzle Bizzle to get excizzle about it.
Well, it said that it's the same guy who does the music for Empire.
Oh, okay.
Which is based, I believe, I don't watch Empire, I've heard I should, but around like a hip-hop club. Mm-hmm. So there is like a lot of rappers and such have guested on it.
With I'm sure a lot of input from the Simpsons writers themselves, because if not, why even do it without that spirit?
Right, and I'm pretty sure Snoop, RZA, and Common probably just rewrote their own words anyway.
Yeah, probably.
Because that's not what they
did. A little improv.
Little improv.
Okay, so now time to grab some popcorn find your seat. We're opening up the curtain on a little segment we like to call Cinematters. Okay, now as we do every Thursday, we want to let you know about a few movies that are coming to a theater near you. A few standouts for this week include Rogue One, Collateral Beauty, Solace, and The Hollow Point. So here's a little more info on the two selections we found interesting. Anne-Marie, why don't you go first?
Okay, so I chose Collateral Beauty. Okay, so when Howard, a.k.a. Will Smith, loses his child, he basically also loses his mind. The only way that he keeps going is he writes letters, but it's not to people. It's to things, specifically death, time, and love. His friends are obviously
Those aren't people?
Those are not people. Well, they're people in this movie. So his friends are obviously very concerned and trying to help him deal with his grief and all that. And as is usual, he's really, really smart. There's a lot of dominoes going on in the movie. And they try and figure out ways to help him deal with his grief and the tricks that his mind's playing on him, because he does start telling people that death, time, and love have all come to visit him.
Okay, so
they bring the notes. They're like, "You wrote to me, I'm love," and I'm like, "Oh."
If we're doing the Oscar bait checklist, we have a really smart guy who sees things that aren't there.
Check.
Has been affected by tragedy in his life.
Will Smith.
Check.
Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren. Check. Released in the winter. Check. And well, it's not about Hollywood though. So
it's not about Hollywood, but it seems like a very good Christmas movie because it's about hope. It has a happy theme. You can tell there's going to be a good ending.
Will Smith dies at the end.
No, I don't think so.
Not the character, the actual actor. Because like the fourth wall break happens, and he's like, "Okay, done with this movie." He walks out off of the set, and an anvil falls on him.
But then how's he going to do Deadshot?
Spoilers. Yeah, that's true.
He's going to do Deadshot.
Well, you have to be dead to be Deadshot. No, I'm kidding.
No, that's not how that works. But either way, it seems like the perfect story around the holidays. I love it. I can't wait to see it. It is very Christmas Carol-like, which is probably why I like it. I kind of have an obsession. If you're in the Universe Box group, you understand this. I like all of the Christmas carols all of the time.
Yeah, and Angel T in the chat room says collateral. She says point, but I think she means beauty. Seems like a very interesting concept, which, it's a pretty interesting concept.
Pretty interesting.
Okay, now obviously there's a big movie that we're not talking about.
We're not talking
we
about
don't care about it.
We do not care.
But I wanted to talk about a documentary film, actually, called Bad Kids. Now, it's about a group of teachers at a Mojave Desert high school that take an unconventional approach to improving the lives of their struggling students. So, basically, they will touch these kids. That kind of old trope, that old cinema or television, depending on it, trope. Now, while the premise is pretty cliche for a fictional movie, the fact that it's a documentary has got me more interested than I would be in a fictional movie with the same concept anyway. Now, I grew up with a lot of mixed up, lost kids are featured in the film. So I think it'll be interesting to see how these teachers kind of try to turn them around from the trailer. It seems like just by being nice to them, unlike the other people in their lives. So
it's amazing what being nice to people will do.
Yes, definitely.
Just be nice people, guys. Be nice people.
It can turn a whole life around.
You could turn a world on with your smile.
No, you can't. But possibly. Okay, but speaking of smiles, though, and turning the world on, what's our next story?
David Ayer and Margot Robbie team up again for Gotham Sirens movie. So with the success of Ayer's Suicide Squad, it's only natural for it to hit the sequel stride. Warner Brothers has been working on a Deadshot, a.k.a. Will Smith sequel, but it looks like Gotham City Sirens is going to be on the fast track. Sirens, which traditionally features Harley Quinn, Catwoman, and Poison Ivy, will be written by Geneva Robertson Dworet, who was just a very well-acclaimed female writer. I just wanted to... Because I saw people giving pushback about there not being a female director, and it just made no sense to me.
Yeah, a little silly.
But
no, and I thought I had read that Catwoman was confirmed to be in the movie.
Well,
at least Catwoman. I don't know about Poison Ivy.
I hadn't seen that. That's actually one of my big things. Yay! I think Margot Robbie did an amazing job as Harley Quinn, and I think it would be a sin for Suicide Squad to be her only DC movie appearance. While she could totally carry the film, and I think she carried a lot of Suicide Squad, I'm excited to see who gets cast as Catwoman and Ivy. The vision that Ayer brought to the screen in Suicide Squad was very intense, all up in your face, and I can't wait to see that applied to Sirens.
Now, I just looked up the screenwriter just because I hadn't heard of her before, and apparently she hasn't actually released any movies yet. She has...
There was like 3. Well, she's working on a bunch of them.
8 or 9 announced here. She has Sherlock Holmes 3, Rom, a Mask adaptation, Dungeons and Dragons, Tomb Raider, and Gotham City Sirens.
Interesting.
So a lot of sort of genre adaptations of...
So maybe she's good at like adaptations. So like maybe other things that she's written that do not belong on IMDb are like good interpretations of a previously done work or series.
Yeah, but it should be interesting though. I am definitely glad to see this picture moving forward though. Margot Robbie has a passion for the character. She's actually the one who spearheaded this film getting made.
That doesn't surprise me because it just seemed to have such a connection for her.
And Ayer being involved ensures it'll be the same consistent tone that they had for her award winning, by the way, this week.
Oh, what did she win?
Best Actress in an Action Film by the Critics' Choice Awards for Suicide Squad.
Critics' Choice. I'm just Critics' Choice. Throwing that out there.
Yeah, but I'm very excited to see, also very excited to see a new, more comic booky interpretation of Catwoman, since the one from Dark Knight Rises kind of sucked. I didn't really. What was it? Anne Hathaway, I think, played her, and it just wasn't.
I haven't seen Dark Knight Rises. Yeah. Probably because I don't like Anne Hathaway.
And because, it was the Christopher Nolan Batverse, it was like, she can't be Catwoman. She's, a cat burglar, which is okay, but just with like these weird sunglasses on and they look kind of cat-like.
They had to make her pretty if it's Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's one of those situations.
But over in the chat room, let's see here. Angel T says, I already said this in my Blather Skype, which we'll be getting to in a little bit, but I'm excited for Gotham City Sirens. Harley, Ivy, and Selena are some of my favorite female characters in the Batman universe.
Yep.
And Monica says, yeah, maybe she did sequels for theater.
Yeah, like maybe she wrote a script, like a play sequel or something like
it's
that.
Also possible, a lot of times, the way someone breaks in like this is they do like a really well-acclaimed like short film or something for film school, and then they get a good agent and they get hired for all these things.
Other things.
Half of them work out and half of them don't. But those are a lot of big titles.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that probably at least a few of them.
I was about to say she's not going to be listed as like the main writer for that many things if she's not that good.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
But very exciting. Gotham City Sirens coming to a theater near you in 20 after the Batman solo movie.
Which is coming in 2018?
2018, yeah. They did announce that this week. It's not one of our main stories.
That's a little side note for you.
But it's going to start shooting in the spring probably.
Woohoo!
Okay, so now we're going to take a gigabyte out of the future without microchipping our teeth. Let's get technological. What's up first, Anne-Marie?
Voice-controlled lighting from Comcast. So taking a page from Alexa, Siri, and the rest, Comcast is tapping into the voice-activated market. Comcast will be working with General Electric and Sengled to allow you to Sengled to talk into a remote and turn your lights on. The company is hoping to get a lot of late adapters on board, like the people who aren't rushing out for
late adopters.
That's what I said.
You said late adapters.
Adapters.
Well, an adapter, when speaking about technological stuff, is a whole
I guess
different thing.
It is a bit of everything. But it's, the people who aren't rushing out for the technology, but it's already there. So they just this is like a we turned it on type of thing. Mm-hmm. I don't want Comcast turning anything on in my house ever. So that is my first thing. No. I have always been very creeped out by these sort of devices. I'm looking at you, iPhone. But now the cable company, well, not my cable company, is
Luckily.
doing it too. Thankfully, we live in an area where there's choices. However, I'm not sure how this is too much of an advantage since you still have to speak into a remote for it to get to work. Like I feel like the clapper worked better because you could be anywhere and clap.
Yeah, and like you said, I really hate these always-on listening devices that are connected to the internet. It's super creepy, super 1984 kind of stuff.
Please don't do that.
And after seeing a smart home taken over by hackers on this season of Mr. Robot, they basically use it to get the woman to leave her house so they can take it over as kind of like their hacker den. Like they have the heater going up and down and the lights blinking and the alarm going off. And yeah, it's nuts. I don't think I'm a huge fan of this whole like House of the Future concept anyway, or the Internet of Things it's also called. I'm also not really big on voice control in general. It's clunky and awkward, and it's really awkward to use unless you're in a room by yourself.
And it's quiet.
Yeah, if you're with somebody and you're like, oh, just 1 second. Hey, machine, do something for me. It just feels awkward and unnatural. I'd rather just hit a button. I really also don't see how shouting a command into your remote is more convenient than just flipping the switch in a room. It's not like television where you need to mess with it constantly. You want to channel flip. You want to get up and change the channel or whatever. Basically, generally when you're dealing with lighting in your house, you walk in the room, you flip the switch, you walk out of the room. If you're energy conscious, you flip it off. So I just, turn the light on, then move on, I say. Like, it doesn't seem like...
I don't think this needs to be voice activated.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a value add. Over in the chat room, Monica says, could you do it remotely, like to pretend you're home when you aren't? Yeah, but by the same token...
Maybe. Well, we don't know. You can't say yeah. We don't know the distance.
Yeah. I mean, the picture on the article, which who knows how accurate it is, has someone holding a smartphone doing it. And I know there are products like Nest that'll do that for you. But by the same token, you can also pick up like a $3 timer and plug a lamp into it and just have it come on at an automated time every day.
And off at a certain
if you want to do that sort of thing. Yeah. I don't think an internet-connected device that's always on listening is required or even more helpful than the $3 timer. But on to something else that is even less helpful.
I don't know what you're talking about. The $1,500 plum wine machine. So if you fancy or are very particular about your wine, I have got the machine for you. The plum wine machine can open, store, sort, and pour your wine for you at optimal temperatures and extends the life of your wine, which I don't know how that completely works. Plum offers limited Wi-Fi capabilities, a 7-inch touchscreen, parent controls, and is made of water-molded stainless steel. Doesn't this sound like a dream come true? Well, then pony up the $1,500 and pre-order one now. The machines are set to ship in spring 2017.
Gosh, only $1,500?
Totally.
Whoa.
So, wow. Just wow. This sounds amazing. Not that I'm going to spend $1,500 on this machine, but I can see the benefits. I am the type of person who likes to have a glass or two of wine.
Preferably a plastic tumbler.
Of course, wine. A plastic tumbler of wine, and not a whole bottle of wine. Call me crazy. I
don't know what you're talking about.
And you know what? If I spent more than $10 a bottle, I might be upset if, my wine sat and got not so awesome. But the fact that this machine can identify and properly store wine and keep it tasty does kind of sound very cool. At least if I was somebody who could afford it.
Okay, so I have a couple thoughts on this.
I'm sure you do.
One, this product assumes that I'm not going to drink 2 bottles of wine in one night. Bad assumption. 2, it automatically chills the wine, which is gross. I usually only drink red wine, and that's best served at room temperature.
Not necessarily. Certain wines should be served at certain temperatures. It even says in the article that it'll chill a Sauvignon Blanc, I believe, until a 44-degree temperature, and a Cabernet
But that's the press
66.
release for this machine telling you that.
Yes.
They don't know what they're talking about when it comes to wine.
I'm Googling.
3, the only person who would possibly use this is the type of person who thinks it's worth around $1,500 to have a wine cooler with an internet connection. Sounds like your typical wino, actually. Yeezy could use one of these machines, but
I wonder if they had one at that meeting.
Possibly. We'll be talking about that in just a minute. Nice tease, though, for sure.
You're welcome.
Over in the chat, Angel says, honestly, I don't like wine, so I'm fine without something like that in my life. And it's basically a kegerator for wine.
It is a kegerator for wine. And it looks like it travels. Expensive. It looks like it travels. Like it's not massive. because somebody in the article was like, oh, when I'm traveling, I like to have a glass or two of wine, but then I've wasted this whole bottle. And he's like, now I don't have to. And I'm like, are you just carrying around this Wi-Fi enabled $1,500 machine with you? Because I'm not putting that in storage.
Angel also says, I suppose it would be handy if you host a lot of get-togethers.
But if you're hosting, you're going to go through more.
It only holds 2 bottles of wine, and they have to chill because there's a chiller thing. The one cool thing about it, I thought, was that you put the wine in, and it scans the label. There's a camera that scans the label, and then it shows you which wine is in which one on a digital display. And let's see, over in the chat room, Monica says, I like AMD's price consciousness, probably because I'm partial to Bill's consumption level.
That's fantastic.
Very good. Very good.
It.
Okay, well, we're going to get back into the news in just a minute. But first, we have an announcement. If you're a follower of us over on Patreon, you know every month we do a patron hangout where you and us and anyone else who supports us on Patreon can get together and hang out, and everyone else can watch it live on YouTube, like all
they
of
can
our
watch
other
us have the fun.
Yeah. But we're gonna do another one this month, December. I know December's close to being over. We're gonna do it a week from today, next Thursday, after our very special Christmas episode of Universe Box, where we're doing the Universe Box gift exchange. There might be some special skits or something we're thinking about working on.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, but we're going to have some special
We have
programming.
so much stuff to open up and show you. It's kind of ridiculous.
Just the stuff we got from...
Nope.
Yeah, from that one show alone.
We don't talk about the shows.
Okay, but we did get one letter on this I wanted to mention because, if you participated in the gift exchange, then it means that you got a gift, and we asked that you could send a video, hopefully a video, if not just
a picture or
a voicemail, a letter,
extended tweet
talking about your gift. And Hope writes in, "Hey Bill, I was wondering when our video for the gift exchange is due. I still haven't received my Secret Santa present, and I need to know how much I have to record to edit a video once it gets here." So basically, since we're doing it next Thursday, we probably need to have your video anytime before next Thursday would be great.
Like Wednesday night would be awesome.
If you want to send it in next Thursday, you need to make sure to have it into us by noon. So I have enough time to get home and edit it into the final video we'll be playing of all the videos. So, but then our episode next week, next Thursday, 8:30 p.m. EST, is going to be the Christmas episode.
We're just opening things.
And right after that, we're going to
do the hangout.
We're going to do the patron hangout
where we can talk about all the
folks,
things.
all the stuff we got. And kind of nice little Universe Box wrap up to the year.
Yes.
Speaking of all that,
why
don't we tell them a little bit about Patreon? If you don't know what Patreon is, you can get to ours over at patreon.com/universebox. It's a way to support the creators you love, like us, other people, but mostly
support us.
But it's a real simple sort of subscription service. You can donate anywhere from $1 a month to $2 a month to $3 a month to $4 a month to $6 a month. But you know what?
But you forgot the most important of all.
The most important of all, yes. The most important support level of all is $5 a month. For $5 a month, you become a member of the $5 Star Patrons Club. That's the $5
Star Patrons Club.
That's not the theme. We're going to keep working on that.
We're workshopping it.
We're working on the theme. And maybe if we get 1 or 2 more $5 Star Patrons, we can outsource it. That'd be good.
Hey.
Okay, but you get 2 major benefits for being a member of the $5 Star Patrons Club. One, we read your name out on every episode of every podcast we do. For the entire month, you donate $5.
Totes.
2, we're going to buy you a kegerator. Not one of those wine kegerators.
With no $1,500 kegerator.
But a kegerator. And by kegerator, I mean we're going to take a piece of notebook paper, write kegerator on it, and send it to you. Just the word kegerator. But it's still awesome. The people who are getting a kegerator this month are Becca Baca, Angel, HollyMac79, Monica Jones, Other Anne Marie, Sage of Earth, a.k.a. Patty, Harry Seidler, Timothy Peters, Robert Cadler, Hope Mullinax, Jessica Gonzalez, Jacob Newman, and Casa Commotion.
Boop, boop.
You guys are the best.
Totes.
Better than all the rest. And you can be better than
all the rest.
And you can be better than all the rest too by going over to patreon.com/universebox
and remember
and then remember to think outside. Okay. So
well, now I've scrolled crazy things.
Oh, it's fine. Okay, so you know what? It's fine, Anne-Marie. It's fine to be crazy. You know why? Because we're about to throw on our headphones and warm up our pipes.
Me, me,
La
me,
la
me,
la
me,
la
me,
la
me.
la. We're going to
All
make
right.
sure your modern music knowledge is in tune. That was something.
That's always something.
Okay, so what's our first story?
So the top selling artist of 2016. So the top selling artist of you showed it.
That's fine. Go ahead. Keep talking.
The top selling artist of 2016 did not set foot on a single tour stage. He wasn't featured on the Today Show or Ellen. He beat out Drake, Kanye, and Beyonce. Ladies and gentlemen, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Mozart's 225 is over 240 hours of Mozart's music in a 200-disc compilation box set. All right, everybody, slow clap. Okay.
Okay.
So this is
We don't do slow claps very well.
we don't do them well at all. This is fantastic and gives me hope for all of mankind. What a way to commemorate the 225th anniversary of the musician's death. I will point out, so it's a 200 disc compilation, and every time you buy the entire thing, it counts as 200 discs. So only like 5,000 people actually bought this, and
Well,
it was
the full set.
The full set.
You could also buy the disc individually, and it would count towards this total.
Okay, see, that makes a lot more sense. Because when
Yeah.
I read that, I was like, does the math even work there? Because it feels wrong. So, okay, well, there's that. But yay, Mozart.
Super yay Mozart.
Super yay, Mozart.
And it's just, there's something to be said for the classics. The existence of the box set itself owes a lot to Mozart's works being in the public domain, though. I think bigger acts like Beyonce and Drake won't be going into the public domain for decades. So
Yeah.
that's one of many reasons they won't reach this level of sales.
Right.
But you know what? I just, because of that, I wouldn't expect the complete Yeezy anytime soon.
But I want the complete Yeezy.
Everybody wants the complete Yeezy. Over in the chat room, Angel T says, yay, go classical music.
Exactly. Yay, go classical music.
But speaking of the complete Yeezy, the complete Yeezy hit New York this week, right?
Yep. Kanye and Trump. So, this week, after meeting with President-elect Trump, Kanye West all but announced that he will run for office in 2024 with a single tweet, hashtag 2024. Yeezy seems to be taking his lead from Trump on how to proceed and requested the meeting to talk about issues that included bullying, supporting not tissues,
Supporting tissues.
supporting teachers, modernizing curriculums, and violence in Chicago. West finds it important to have a direct line of contact with the president.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Anne-Marie, your thoughts?
So I'm not quite sure what to make of any of this, basically. Kanye has only been out of the hospital for a short period of time, folks. It seems like a really bad time to jump into politics. I have so many concerns, I really don't know what to begin. What I do know, however, is if they were talking about bullying, I know who they need to start with.
Dun, dun, dun.
And your turn?
And scene.
And scene.
Well, this is a classic case of game, respect, game. Whatever they discussed, it was enough
I
to...
wish I could look at things the way you do sometimes. Because this makes me twitchy.
I just think, whatever they discussed, it was enough to push Kanye's presidential run out for years.
See, that's terrifying.
So I think it's really cute that Kanye also tweeted out a Trump-signed copy of the Time magazine, the Person of the Year Time magazine cover with Trump on it after the meeting. So he's like a total Trump fanboy.
Yeah, but did you watch the video?
I did.
He's like, I just want to take a picture. I'm like...
Well, I think the thing was he didn't want to talk to the press about it. Like he just wanted to go in there, talk to Trump, and get out. But Trump was like, "Oh, we have to talk to the press now because my famous friend is here." But the most striking thing in that video to me was all of the gold in the lobby of the Trump Tower. I've been there once. And
oh, really?
But I completely forgot how garish it is. It almost hurts to look at.
It does hurt to look at.
And the thing is, it's not like pure blinding you gold. It's more just like it's gold and then like kind of tarnished too. So it's just like it kind of hurts your brain to look at.
Yeah.
But I'd almost completely block that out because I think I went to the Trump Tower in like 2003 maybe. So it's been years and years and years since I wasn't there to see Trump or Yeezy. I meet up with them down at Gino's Pizza on 27th Street. But okay, so you know what pizza comes in.
Yeah, let's go.
A box. So, what's in the box? You're about to find out. We've each selected a special story to discuss. Let's pop open
The Universe Box. Okay, hold on to your wands, folks.
Back away from the statement. Okay, go ahead.
Oh!
I'm just letting you live with that one.
Sorry. Oh, there was supposed to be another Weasley, guys. Guys, there was another Weasley. So
The hidden Weasley.
The hidden Weasley. J.K. Rowling says that there was another Weasley. There was going to be a cousin who was supposed to sort of take on the Rita Skeeter role of the series. And she was a Slytherin. And she was a foil for Hermione. And was all sorts of crazy and annoying and awful and came to live at the Burrow for a summer. And everybody was like, that person. And I really, really can't wait to see what the Potter fanfic universe does with this one because it's going to be crazy.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The Lost Weasley.
The Lost Weasley. It's this. She's like the daughter of two muggles, too.
Okay, over in the chat room, in reference to our Trump-Kanye story, Monica says Trump was just desperate for a pick with an African-American supporter. Then sorry, no politics promise, ignore.
The no politics promise actually ended with the election.
Yeah, that was for the election year.
I have held back so many pop culture and entertainment articles over the past 2 months.
I also don't think we're going to be...
Doing it again.
Yeah, well, I don't think we're going to be, like... talking a lot about politics or anything like that, but at the same time,
it was news.
Yeah, it was news. So it's cool. It's all good. Okay, so my universe box for this week is, and this is really exciting, DC Universe and Hanna-Barbera are crossing over with these annuals that they've announced. They're going to be crossing over the DC Universe with their postmodern Hanna-Barbera line for several annuals, including Green Lantern Space Ghost, Suicide Squad Banana Splits, and the one I'm most excited about, the one up on the screen right now, Flintstones and Booster Gold.
What's up, Fred? Woo!
Yeah. Fred is a
bodybuilder,
not the Flintstone for sure. Now, if you aren't familiar, everyone's familiar with the Flintstones, but if you're not familiar with Booster Gold, what started as sort of an '80s commentary on '80s greed, eventually around like 2005 evolved into DC's version of Quantum Leap, but set in the DC universe, where Booster Gold hopped around to all these famous events in the history of the DC universe and kind of intervened as much as he could. Now, the plot of this book is to stop an alien invasion in the modern day. Booster has to travel back to Bedrock to find out how the cavemen handled the aliens the first time they arrived on Earth back in prehistoric days. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Flintstones is the best comic book series I've read all year, and combining them with one of my favorite DC characters has me very excited.
He's like super excited, y'all.
I'm thrilled.
I know he's hiding it right now, but it's crazy.
I'm very excited. By the way, I got caught up on the last couple issues over the weekend of the Flintstones, and really good stuff. They did because they basically the origins of the town of Bedrock is they were all cave people, and then they fought the tree people and took over the land and cut it all down and built a quarry and stuff. Quarry. And so one of the most recent issues was sort of like this kind of like treatise on war and Fred and Barney in the war and what it cost them and why they did it and everything. It was really very, very moving. I really enjoyed it. People think I'm joking. I'm not. The Flintstones.
No, he's serious.
Legitimately a great book. Legitimately. And Monica in the chat room says that she loved Quantum Leap and she's very interested. Good. Okay, so Anne-Marie, what kind of holidays are we coming upon tomorrow on Friday, December 16th?
Guys, we have some really, really good ones.
Excellent.
Prepare yourself. Tomorrow is Ugly Sweater Day. Ugly Christmas sweater, to be specific. Not just your general run-of-the-mill ugly sweater. Ugly Christmas sweater. Chocolate-covered anything day.
Nice.
Sold. Underdog Day.
Like the superhero?
No, not the superhero. Like
just if you're an underdog?
Just if you're an underdog. It is also the Day of Reconciliation. And Free Shipping Day. However, I'd like to know who honors Free Shipping Day. I will be completing my Christmas shopping.
So basically, what you need to do is you need to take your ugly Christmas sweater dip it in chocolate, put it underneath of a dog, reconcile all that together with some packaging in a bow, and then ship it out because it's free shipping day. I also, we usually give out homework for Blatherskipes here. What I want to do is, if you could cover anything in chocolate that doesn't already come covered in chocolate, what would it be and why? That's what we want to know for next week. Contact@universebox.com.
Yes, please.
Okay, but right now, that's next week. That's what people are going to be writing in about next week. What are we excited about this week? We're offering up our recommendations in Suggestibles. It never does. Absolutely never does. Okay, so as we often do for Suggestibles, when we've both watched something or seen something that is super good and we're really enjoying,
right?
We're going to do a review.
We like to do a review.
We're doing a review of the second season of Fuller House, which came out last Friday.
And we watched the whole thing this weekend.
Pretty much in a day and a half. All 13 episodes. Yeah.
Yes, this is what we do with our lives, folks. This is what we do for you.
But first of all, Anne-Marie, general impressions about it.
Big puffy heart.
You really enjoyed it?
I really, I think it was better than season 1.
Definitely.
I think they let themselves actually have stories a little more instead of just playing on the nostalgia.
Yeah, well, season 1 was really more of a reunion show, and this was more of a continuation.
Right. It was a reunion show, and it was going, are they really letting us do this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Like, that's what it was. This was its own series with a couple of guest appearances.
Yeah, for sure.
Liked.
I mean, I still could have used a little bit of the original cast members, but by the same token, I was completely happy with what we got.
Right.
Okay, so we kind of broke it down into a few favorites for this review. So, Anne-Marie, what was your favorite character of Fuller House Season 2?
Max. So I love this little guy and how serious and very Danny he is. He was one of my favorite kids. He was my favorite of the kids in season 1. He's the DJ's middle son, and definitely was again in season 2. He reminds me so much of Stephanie in the original series from the way he acts and behaves and interacts with people. Really? That's like the tiniest little picture. Let's see, the original about being a kid, but also being a TV kid. It's a constant battle with his classmates, the struggle to be cool at the tender age of 8. And I absolutely adore his relationship with Rose. Adore. And for Once Upon a Time fans, it's played by the little girl who played like little Emma in the movie theater.
Yeah, and definitely, I thought Max held my attention a lot more this season than he did in the Holy Chalupa season,
Holy Chalupa!
Let's see, over in the chat room, Monica says 13 episodes. Even with kids, did they watch it with you?
No, we hid.
Yeah.
They probably could have watched it, and they have watched a lot of the first season last week. But no, this was just chill out time for us.
Okay, and as far as my favorite character, there was one episode, I think it was the Thanksgiving episode, right? Mm-hmm. Where they had midlife crisis Danny Tanner, and it was fantastic.
I thought it was Christmas.
Was it Christmas? I
don't remember.
It was one of those episodes. But we all know what Bob Saget became after he left Full House and America's Funniest Home Videos. Mm-hmm. It was basicly
him,
Bob Saget now in Danny Tanner's house kind of thing. It was great to see him play that with the other Full House or Fuller House characters too. Mm-hmm. I did think it was interesting that they did show him smoking a cigar, which is not something you would ever see on a primetime sitcom these days. Back in the day, and I mean, they even referenced this in the Girl Talk episode. They did storylines about getting pressured to smoke, and they were smoking on screen for that.
Right.
But you wouldn't even see that in a modern sitcom today. So I just thought it was kind of interesting. But yeah, Bob Saget with a gold chain around his neck being all like, yo, yo, yo.
It was hilarious.
Classic.
It was hilarious.
Okay, so Anne-Marie, what was your favorite episode of Fuller House Season 2?
New kids in the house. So the new kids were totally in the house, and I loved this because Kimmy was very Kimmy from like the classic series, because I guess that's what we call it now. The originals, the classics. We don't get as much of that in Fuller House.
The less Full House.
Because Kimmy's an adult. Kimmy's a mom. Kimmy has a job that she's actually really good at. This was Kimmy going, and being crazy to the new kids. Sorry for screaming in the microphone for you.
Yeah, apparently she has a history with the new kids that involves legal action. So that was
and it was just really nice to get that, and also new kids on the block.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They even got who was it? Donnie,
Yeah,
who's a
Skyped
famous
him in.
actor now. They had him Skype in for an episode.
Yeah, well, they recorded a video.
Or for a second. But that was a pretty good episode.
That was a good one.
My favorite episode was DJ and Kimmy's high school reunion.
Right.
Basic premise of it being, DJ and Kimmy have a high school reunion and they go to it. But I love seeing all the old characters from the original show, all the kind of supporting characters that they went to school with in the old show reappear here. Even though a couple of them
made no sense.
I'd say half of them are played by different actors.
No, I think only one was.
No, because what's his name?
I don't know.
The geeky guy, the geeky rich kid. He wasn't the same actor.
He was the only one not the same.
And the girl too, the catty girl, Santosi.
Kathy Santoni?
Kathy Santoni. Yeah, that was
Kathy Santoni ever in the actual series?
I think she was.
Oh, okay.
And so she was recast too, but they had obviously Steve's a main cast member, and they had Viper and the whatever guy.
Whatever.
But it did a great job, conveying the difficulty in Steve and DJ's relationship and how it's been so hard for them to sort of come together. There were a lot of really good Steve and DJ moments in it. Now, fair warning, I'm hashtag Team Steve all the way.
Hashtag Team Matt.
Hashtag Team Steve. Team Steve is the true ship. But this was the first episode, like the entire season, I was like, oh, that's not going to happen. And this is the first episode that kind of gave me hope for them, because it was the first time that you really saw, I mean, obviously, I guess she had picked him before the decision was taken out of her hands.
Right.
But that DJ still had feelings for Steve, like big feelings for Steve. So it gave me a lot of hope, even if Steve does get engaged in the following episode.
With DJ's help.
But, it's I just say, here's to those crazy kids finally reuniting romantically in season 3. If not,
Team Matt.
If not, whatever.
Whatever, dude.
Whatever. Okay, over in the chat room, let's see here. Angel says, I need to watch that along with 1.5 million other things I need to watch, catch up on.
True that.
And Monica says, NKTOB for New Kids on the Block. Okay, last but not least, we're going to wrap up with our favorite storylines from Fuller House season 2. Anne-Marie, what was yours?
Okay, this is more of an episode, another good episode, but it was kind of a storyline. When they got Girl Talk back together and Gia came back, he was talking about the different guest appearances. I love that they're doing it, but they're not overdoing it.
Yeah, and instead of pressuring Stephanie to smoke cigarettes, she pressured
to vape.
To vape.
Please no
which
vaping.
is kind of cool.
Don't do the vaping. Let's see. The series has an opening for many. I obviously didn't read your point. Nostalgic guest stars, and this is one of the best. I would love to see her on the show at least a little bit more, like once or twice a season. A little scene is great. Happy Hour with Steph and Gia, absolutely yes. Please sign me up.
Because she was sort of the bad influence on Stephanie for the original series, and now she's like a soccer mom she's
totally a soccer mom who walks for causes. I do that. No soccer though. But yeah, I just really
and it was cool to hear them play I Saw the Sign again.
I saw the sign.
I also thought it was kind of interesting that they had DJ be the drummer.
Yeah. Well, they had to.
Just to keep her in the episode, because I'm sure she probably has she has to be in a certain percentage of the episode.
Oh, I'm sure she does.
Featured in the original Girl Talk episode, I don't think.
No, she wasn't. Well, I mean, because they keep doing these little flashy back things. And it wasn't her, but I mean, you gotta keep it. Well, the rock band. Mm-hmm. She put these big stickers on.
Yeah, because her drumming experience was from
rock band,
playing drums on Rock Band, and so that's what she brings to the rehearsal.
Yeah.
Okay, but my favorite storyline from the entire second season was sort of the romance between Stephanie and Kimmy's brother Jimmy Gibbler. I really enjoyed the ups and downs of their relationship throughout the series. It was silly a lot of the time, kind of kind of goofy a lot of the time. But after Jimmy confesses his love to Stephanie, it sort of swerved and provided a lot of insight into the character of Stephanie and how she processed her mom's death, which was the inciting incident of the original series. It was an absolutely heartwarming character note, not just like a, oh, the whole audience goes, oh, sort of thing.
You hear it.
But it was actually like, wow, that makes a lot of sense, and that really makes this character kind of three-dimensional in a two-dimensional world.
You know, they're giving the Stephanie character so many more. She has way more to work off of than anybody else.
Definitely.
You wouldn't have thought it from the first episode of the first season, but she by far has the most depth and story of anyone on the show.
Oh, for sure. I really enjoy Jodie Sweetin in that role, for sure.
Yeah, she's turned her life around, that's for sure.
Okay, so we're done with our review. It's time to rate it using an arbitrary scale. So, Anne-Marie, out of 1,050 Gibbler Gobblers, how many Gibbler Gobblers do you give this episode?
1,045.
Why?
And
or not episode, but season.
Season stuff. I loved it. Like you had said, it would have been nice to have a little bit more of the original characters. I would have liked a few more seconds of that final scene with that new character that I'm not gonna spoil.
Yeah,
because that's actually a spoiler, kind of. I'd have liked 5 minutes. Versus like 30 seconds. But it's really good. It's really, really good.
Oh, for sure.
What did you think, William?
I because of the lack of the original cast members in several of the episodes, I'm going to give it a 1,025 Gibbler Gobblers. But again, I thought it was really well done. If you like the original series, you'll like this. And I mean, there were so many great little guest appearances and sort of like tie-ins to the original series. One thing we didn't mention was that Alan Thicke, who passed away this week.
And it was so heartbreaking.
Had a really good turn as a character named Mike. Mike here. That was really funny, really well within his wheelhouse, and got a lot of chance to interact with Candace Cameron Bure, who is the sister of the actor Kirk Cameron, who played his son on Growing Pains, his most famous series. So.
Right, and it was exceptionally heartbreaking too, of like watch this and just seeing that episode and like 2 days later, he passed away.
Because when he stepped onto the stage, I was just like, oh whoa, I haven't seen Alan Thicke forever.
Right.
And then it was like, oh man.
Oh, no more seeing Alan Thicke.
But over in the chat room, Angel T says, especially if you consider Jodie's journey.
Right. For Stephanie.
Because she's had a very hard personal journey.
Right.
I think they even referenced that once in this episode, because she's reading a book about a kid star who's become an adult star, and she's like, I'm glad it's not one of those stories about a kid star who falls on hard times or something like that. So they kind of reference that in the show. But
they do that a lot.
Fuller House season 2, awesome.
Go watch it.
Can't wait until season 3.
Yep.
Okay, so now we've blathered enough, Anne-Marie. We can't wait to hear your blathering. Let's hear what our listeners have to say in Blather Skype. Okay, now as always, you can email in, call in, contact us, contact@universebox.com. Our Twitter's @universe_box. The Facebook group is facebook.com/group/universeboxshow. And the voicemail number is 424-274-2352. Again, that's 424-274-2352. Your 2 homework assignments for this week. 1, let us know what you want dipped in chocolate. 2, let us know what your plans are for Christmas, because next week is our Christmas episode. So
yes, please tell us what you're doing for Christmas. That'd be fantastic.
Definitely. But we did get 1 Blather Skypes in this
Yay,
week from Angel. You want to take it away, Anne-Marie?
Yes. There we go. Okay, hey Bill and Anne-Marie. So first off, I'm going to provide a recipe for one of my favorite pastries that I occasionally have during my summer vacations. Every summer, my family and I go visit my dad's side of the family up in North Dakota. Oh, in North Dakota. And my aunt tends to make a lot of desserts, pies, cakes, rolls, cookies, etc. Though the one that is made the most and usually comes home with us are caramel rolls. So here's a version of a caramel roll recipe. Should you ever want to try it out, I shall be adding that to my repertoire.
Yeah, and we'll have that link in the show notes at universebox.com too.
Now for my favorite old-time Nickelodeon show. How on earth could I pick just one? Nick was my childhood, and I loved the programming that ran in the 90s to early 2000s. If I had to choose a favorite live-action show, it was most likely All That, the first 6 seasons. Though I also liked many of the game shows. Legends of the Hidden Temple was my favorite. Mine too. And shows like Are You Afraid of the Dark and Clarissa Explains It All. Mm-hmm. As for my favorite animated Nick show, I would have to say my favorite is Kablam, which featured a variety of different animated shorts, each with their own particular style. I have no idea what that show is, so aging myself.
Yeah, it was basically just like a compilation.
Well, I've gathered from her description.
It had like a Prometheus and Bob is one I can remember, and a few other
interesting
regular segments. It was a good show.
Good times. Good times. All right, finally.
Action League Now was another one. Okay, go ahead.
Finally, is a quick note that is relevant for tonight's show. I am excited for the Gotham City Sirens movie. Quite honestly, Catwoman, Poison Ivy, and Harley Quinn are 3 of my favorite characters or members of the Rogues Gallery in the Batman universe. While sadly my knowledge of the DC comic book universe is limited, I am still looking forward to what Warner Brothers has in store for this movie. Can't wait to hear what you've got for us tonight. See you later in chat. Why, thank you, Miss Angel.
Thank you very much, Angel. And like I said, something you want to dip in chocolate or Christmas plans, contact at universebox.com, at universe_box, facebook.com/groups/universeboxshow. And the voicemail number is 424-274-2352. Again, that's 424-274-2352. Over in chat, Monica says, going to date myself, but you can't do that on television. I don't know. No, that was a good one.
That show.
I really enjoyed that show. The funny thing about that show is that that's where Nickelodeon got the whole slime thing, which became such a big part of their brand identity. Mm-hmm. And it was really stolen from this Canadian show they bought because they needed something to fill the airwaves with. So kind of an interesting story there. I do recommend it's an audiobook and a regular book too. It's called Slimed: An Oral History of Nickelodeon. If you want to learn the story of Nickelodeon, it's told by the people who created all the shows and acted on the shows and everything else. A really good book if you want to pick that up. There's another suggestible for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, as always, we're going to wrap up with some takeaways here. First of all, Mike not here. Rip Alan Thicke. Plum wine is plum crazy. Mm-hmm. Dylan McKay makes a mean burger.
Hopefully.
And not even Yeezy can outperform Mozart. Okay, so Anne-Marie, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at DeSimone.
As for me, you can follow me on Twitter at Bill Meeks. You can follow all of the podcasts we do. And in about 2 minutes here, you can find me up in front of the bathroom mirror because I'm ripping these contacts out of my face. They've been in there for about 14 hours now, and that's just a little bit too long for day 3, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's going to do it for this week. Join us next week for our big Christmas episode /
Yay!
patron hangout. We hope to see you there and in the hangout. We'd love to have you. If you're a patron on Patreon, patreon.com/universebox, we will be posting a join link right after we get done with the main episode and we're moving into the hangout. So hope to see you there. If you have a webcam, you can join us.
Yes, please.
But you know what? Until next time,
remember to think outside.